What's up, you guys? We are 12 weeks out of the Olympia. In today's video, we're going to talk about cheat meals and prep, more specifically my Olympia prep and cheat meals, because that's probably been the number one most asked questions on any of my IG Q&As and on Saturday nights when I post my cheat meals. So I figured I'd do a video and talk about how I'm able to have cheat meals, how I've structured my prep and my off season to have those included, and when I'm going to cut them out. First things first, I do want a disclaimer and say that every person and every prep is going to be different, even within the same person. So myself, I've done preps before where I've had no cheat meals for 15 to 16 weeks. I've done preps where I've had cheat meals every week or every other week, all the way up into a few weeks out. I've done preps where I've cut it halfway, everything in between. And it just depends on what your starting point is, how far ahead or how far behind you are, how your body responds to those cheat meals, if you go too overboard on those cheat meals, and a lot of other factors. So the way that I structured my off season before we even get into prep, I was doing Monday through Friday, following a pretty strict meal plan. Saturday, Sunday, I would allow myself to eat whatever I wanted. Kind of just like intuitive eating days. I would have cheat meals if I wanted to. I could eat out. So essentially throughout the week, I wouldn't eat out. It was all home cooked meals and mega fit meals. Anything that's not home cooked or mega fit, I pretty much consider like a meal off plan, or like a cheat meal, if you will. A cheat meal for me doesn't mean it's something that's like terrible for you, or it's like junk food or fast food. Having salmon out at a restaurant, for example, because there's always extra added oils and calories and all kinds of stuff in it. So I tend to stay away from eating out in prep unless it's a cheat meal or a free meal out. So on the weekends, I would allow myself to eat whatever I wanted. Usually it would be about 2 cheat meals a week, and I was just maintaining at that spot. So when I did start my prep, I actually didn't increase my cardio. I didn't drop my calories. The only thing that I did was I cleaned up those cheat meals. So I've been doing cheat meal once a week. Every Saturday night, I go for a cheat meal. I don't know if I really like the term cheat meal, because I feel like sometimes people go a little bit too overboard with that, and I think it's just a free-for-all when your calories still count on a cheat meal. They're not like calories that don't count. That's still going to affect you tomorrow and for the next week's your progress. So you just want to be careful that if you are having a cheat meal, if you're undoing your whole week's worth of progress and then working all week to get back to where you were, you're really just yo-yoing up and down. Is that really conducive to your goal if you're on a time crunch for prep? Probably not. That's something that you could add in your off season to kind of maintain in a certain phase. So let's say, you're 130, you have a cheat meal, you go up to 135 or something, and then you drop back down by the end of the week to 130, then you have a cheat meal, you go up. You're kind of just doing this and you're staying at that same set point at the end of the week. So you're really not progressing week to week. That would be more of a maintenance phase. Versus if you're, let's say 130, you have a cheat meal, you go up a little bit, and then you end up dropping back down, and then you have a cheat meal, and you go up, and you keep dropping back down like this. That would be more of a conducive way of having a cheat meal. But of course, it depends on everyone's body, because your metabolism and so many factors are going to go into that, and of course, what you choose to eat. So the way that I've been able to do that this year, thank goodness, because it's been an easy prep so far. I am currently close as I've been to my stage weight this early, being 12 weeks out in any prep that I've ever done. So it definitely feels good to be pretty far ahead and feeling good mentally, feeling good physically, and just in a really good spot. However, I do want to ramp it up a bit. I told my husband the other day, let's kind of like pedal to the metal a little bit, even though we're so far ahead, because I don't want to get comfortable being far ahead and just be complacent and sitting here, because I know that those last 5 pounds or so is always the hardest for me to get off. So I do want to make sure that I'm like pushing ahead and in a really good spot. So I am in a good spot, but I want to be in a better spot. For this year's cheat meals, I've been doing once a week, Saturday nights. Usually my husband and I like to go out for dinner. We usually go to Barry's Steakhouse. It's one of my favorite restaurants here in Vegas. If you ever visit Vegas, I highly recommend you go. It's in like downtown Old Vegas, near Fremont Street. It's at Circa Hotel. The food is amazing, the service is amazing, the desserts are amazing. They have so many desserts, and the vibe and the atmosphere in there is just one of my faves. So that's where I like to go. I pretty much have gone there most weeks in my prep, but also so it's consistent week to week with what I'm eating, and I know how my body responds to that food. You get a filet steak, and then I'll get a side of the truffle fries, extra crispy, and then a side of mushrooms and onions. Usually I'll have like one piece of bread that's on the table and a glass of red wine, and then I'll share a couple bites of desserts. But I don't go overboard with it. I don't go crazy. I don't eat until I'm stuffed. I eat until I'm comfortable. So the day of my cheat meal on Saturdays, and then on Sunday, the day after, I don't restrict anything. My meal plan stays the exact same. It doesn't change. I don't cut my carbs. I don't cut my fats. Nothing crazy like that. On Saturday, when I have my cheat meal that night, I eat the same foods all throughout the day, my normal meals. And then my last meal, I just pretty much replace it with my meal out, whatever I choose to have. And then come Sunday, I get up right back to my normal meal plan. I don't restrict anything, just keep as normal. Sunday is always a rest day for me, that doesn't change. And then come Monday, I get back in the gym, I have amazing pumps, have amazing energy, I feel good. I'm ready to hit the week strong. And then by the end of the week, I can kind of feel things start to drop down a little bit more. Usually I find some weeks I've actually dropped down the day after having a cheat meal, but generally I find I'll go up 1 or 2 pounds after having the cheat meal, just probably from extra sodium from eating out. And then usually I drop back down by like Tuesday or Wednesday, and I noticed like the further in prep that I would get, the faster my body would burn it off. So at first it would take me a little bit longer, and now I find like by Tuesday, even by Monday almost, I'm already back down to the weight that I was before having a cheat meal. And then by the end of the week, I've dropped down further. So I'm able to consistently see that decline in my weight and body fat while still having those cheat meals. However, we did decide, well, actually, I brought it up. I know who decides to cut their own cheat meals. But I actually said to my husband that, since we're 12 weeks out, I do want to cut out the cheat meal just to tighten things up even more, because my birthday is coming up. I'd rather kind of save that cheat meal to enjoy on my birthday than to have it now when I do have good energy. I'm feeling really good, that I think I can kind of deplete a little bit further and kind of push myself a bit more right now. And my sister is coming to visit me on the middle of October, actually the week after our birthday. It's not just my birthday, we're twins. My goal is to be so far ahead that I'm able to enjoy something then. This past weekend was 12 weeks out. I didn't have a cheat meal. We went to Bad Bunny concert anyways, so I didn't even have time to think about it or miss it or anything. Curious to see kind of the next 2-3 weeks how things go without having a cheat meal in, and then I'll add it back in as needed. But for right now, I have cut it out 12 weeks out, which is still a bit early. I could definitely keep it in because at the rate of my progress, and because of how close I am and how well my body's responding to it. But I did decide to cut it out for now, just so I can kind of get even further ahead when it comes to deciding whether or not I'm gonna have cheat meals in a prep or continue to have them week by week at my check-ins. The number one factor that I would look at would be, am I making progress? And then am I making progress at the rate that I should be, that I want to be? And then decide from there, because if I'm not progressing week to week, the first thing I would do would be cut out that cheat meal to further create that deficit, because obviously my body's not responding well to having that. So if you're not progressing week to week, you probably don't need the cheat meal. It's probably hindering your progress more than helping your progress. So I would keep that in mind. Number 2 would be digestion. Is my digestion responding well to the cheat meal, or is it messing up my digestion for the rest of the week or for too long of a period of time? Do you feel bloated for the rest of the week after you have a cheat meal? Do you feel like you're holding on to inflammation? Do you feel like your waistline is puffy? All those things that obviously add up to how you look and how you feel, and that might mask your progress. If your digestion is messed up for 4 or 5 days after having a cheat meal, either look at what you're having at a cheat meal or just cut it out. Do you want the cheat meal, or does your body need the cheat meal? It's 2 different things. You can want it and need it. That's kind of how I feel, that I like having cheat meals. Of course, who doesn't like food? If it's not helping my prep, then the food is not going anywhere. It'll be there, 12 weeks from now when I can go out and eat after my show. So I enjoy my cheat meals. However, I have no emotional attachment to them. When they do go, they do go. It's not the end of the world. That's all for now. Stay tuned for the next video. And as always, thank you guys for watching and for all the love.